a tough result on Saturday. How are you feeling now? Have you had the chance to fully reflect and sit back and look back on that defeat to Wrexham?
Yeah, gutted. I've got to be honest. I thought we controlled the game for the first half. Really positive in our performance. Nullified them, really exploited where we felt that we could do. Worked on it all week with regards to the spaces down the sides of them, in between them. And I felt we was excellent first half. And then, I don't know what it is, a mindset change, a 2-0 lead. Again, it's something that we've let slip. This isn't the first time. This is talking about 4 or 5 times with a 2-0 head start. And it's starting to really frustrate me. The sending off, yeah, it affects us. The 11v10, they moved the ball really well. And then, in fairness, with 10 to go, they're taking pop shots from outside the box. And I'm thinking, brilliant, playing into our hands. And then they go and deliver an unbelievable ball in from the right-hand side. And Ponticelli, it's the only place he could score. And it's an unbelievable header. And you think, okay, batten down the hatches. We learn from it. And then they go and give you another sucker punch a minute later. Demoralising, frustrating. These are sort of the words that I'm using. That, yeah, my weekend wasn't great, but I've got to lift the group. I've got to lift myself because we go to Weymouth tomorrow to ensure that we get a win on the board.
Can you pinpoint why it happened? Why from 2-0 up, Boreham Wood ended up losing the game 3-2?
I think there's a load of reasons, but I don't want to just isolate this game. This is Notts County, Aldershot, Southend. These are just off the top of my head. These are games where you're in control, 2-0, really comfortable. Yeah, they made 2 changes. Yeah, they come out at us. But in fairness, in a National League, for you to go and get a 2-0 goal deficit or a lead, then surely you're totally in the ascendancy, and you should be the team that are in control, slowing the game down, picking it up as and when you need to. I thought our distances were poor. I don't know. I asked the group afterwards. It's hard because emotion were running high, and I let the group have 15 minutes to himself because I don't want to go in there and, yeah, stick it on people when quite rightly they probably deserve to be stuck on. But it's just, like I said in previous interviews and meetings, it's damage limitations going towards the end of the season. We're finishing 10th to 16th. That's not changing. But we need to ensure that this is something that we nip in the bud, because I don't want it to set in, and rot sets in for sure.
And you touched on Tom Champion there. I know you don't want to reflect too much on that Wrexham game, but how much of a miss will Tom be now as we conclude this season?
Oh, well, listen, he's only one match ban because it was 2 yellows. So he won't be available for the Weymouth game, but he'll be obviously available for selection in Eastleigh and Maidenhead. I thought he was having a really good game. I thought he was having a really astute game, and I've looked at it back. It's not a yellow. His first yellow was, I believe, early on in the game. So he's always playing on tender hooks, but I don't think it was one that was a yellow. I think he's reaching for a ball. He wins the ball, and yeah, quite rightly, he goes to the side of the player, not through him, not behind him. But again, the referees make these decisions. We've been on the back of them. We've been in favour of them, and it's saying that you just got to roll with. And he will be a loss, but we got personnel in the ranks that can slot in there. So yeah, we're comfortable with regards to that.
And in your post-match, you said that it's just a bump in the road. I mean, can these bumps make a team stronger?
Yeah and no, because like I said, we're like currently up and down a speed bump road because it's constant. It's not just one little bump in the road. There's a lot of factors, and I'm getting asked the questions, what is it? And I don't actually know the answers. I have to then probably look at that with fresh eyes after the season, go back through the games where we're leading 2s and 1-0s. So it's not just leading 2-0, dagging them away. There's another 2-0. Bromley at home, Hartlepool at home. We're leading. Solly at home, we're leading. These are all things that I look at and go, it could have been a very different season for us, but it isn't. My big thing is, like I said, I don't want it to set in. We need to ensure that we cut this out ASAP. And I have been asked questions. I do need to find the answers. Being the manager, I do need to find the answers. I need to obviously reflect on that and dictate that from the sideline as opposed to allowing it to happen in the future.
Well, tomorrow night, it's a trip to Weymouth. They broke a 3-game winless run by beating Altrincham on the weekend. With their fans in the ground as well, can we expect a tough game?
They're a good side. They've got nothing to lose, like Kings Lynn didn't, like Barnet haven't, like Weymouth won't. They've been afforded the luxury this year that there isn't any relegations. So they play with a freedom. I watched them against Sutton and Solihull. Got to watch the Altrincham game. Hasn't gone up on the platform yet. But in them 2 games, they look to play. They've got personnel in there that are good. Dallas up top has been phenomenal this year. Unbelievable find for Brian Stock and Weymouth. Gone and scored another brace on Saturday. So, yeah, they're going to be a tough outfit. It's a big pitch at Weymouth, massive pitch. And like you said, you touched on it, they're going to have fans back in the building. So something foreign to us. We've had it once this year with all the shot at home. So we're going to be on the back of that against the home support. So I'm quite welcome to that because I think it'll bring an atmosphere. Yeah, and I like the fact that there is going to be fans. Yeah, it's not in our favour, but again, they can be. Why? Because if you go down there and start the game right, they turn. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the fans there on Tuesday evening. I'm looking forward to playing against Weymouth and hopefully getting a win on the board to, like we said, finish the season strong.
Do you prefer those bigger pitches like a Weymouth and a Meadow Lane, or do you prefer the tighter pitches?
Horses for courses. Depends who we're playing against. But, yeah, we got a team that are comfortable in either, tight or bigger. Obviously, you can get your passing game going a little bit easier on a bigger pitch. You can stretch the opposition a little bit better. But in turn, when you've got the likes of Shields, McCoy and Dallas in favour going for them, then it aids them just as much as it aids us. So, look, as long as it's flat, got grass and 2 goals, I'm happy.
Well, very true. It's a case now of finishing as close to 10th as possible. I mean, you said that the team must be proactive as opposed to reactive. How do you ensure that finishing the season, we finish with a proactive mindset?
Continue doing what we're doing, working tirelessly on the pitch, on the grass, being the training grid. It's been a tough year. I've gone through, I looked when we started our pre-season last year, the 3rd week in August. We then didn't stop until the 25th, 26th of July. We give the boys just short of 4 weeks off. They then started back in, I think it was the 17th, 18th of June. It's been a long year. It's been a tough year. No more so than the chairman at the helm, having to keep the safety of this club. There's a lot of aspects that I'm proud of, being no COVID cases, being the FA Cup run, being sending the youngster in Sorba Thomas to Huddersfield. And so when I will take stock and reflect, I will enjoy probably parts of this season, parts that I won't do. Being proactive, we're already setting up our pre-seasons, I've walked 3 or 4 unattached players around already. That's given me a luxury to do so. So we can sort of get a march on the National League teams in and around it, because their focus is getting out the National League, not planning for it. So that's being proactive as a club management and the hierarchy and the CEO and the chairman. In terms of the players, it hurts them. That hurt them Saturday. So I know that their towels aren't on the proverbial sun loungers just yet. They're not out the building, because if I walked in there and it was easy to take a 3-2 loss, then I probably would have questioned that. That's not the case. I think they're still hurting. They're still fighting for myself and this football club. So, yeah, we just got to make sure that we're a little bit more resilient, well-drilled, yeah, and try and keep 11 on the pitch, because that would aid us for sure.
And you mentioned the players there. Cav Shamanga now on 4 goals from his last 3 games. So whilst I suppose the outcome wasn't favourable on Saturday, there have been some strong individual performances as of late.
Yeah, I'm desperate for the kid to get the golden boot. Desperate. He's got 3 to catch up with Cheeky. We've got 3 games left. I think they've got 2 games left. So tomorrow night, he's got an opportunity to put a marker down and put a little bit of pressure on Michael Cheek. I thought Femi was excellent. He's been in good form. I think Rico's been in good form. I thought Champ was good on Saturday. I felt Corey was an excellent first half. Was absolutely excellent. They couldn't deal with him. And then second half probably didn't play too high up, which we asked of him. But again, it's something that we are looking at. He's gone from left wing back to on the point to up top. I can't question his effort, his willingness to do what we are asking of him. So, yeah, there are some really good individual performances. As a team, can we be better at stopping balls going in our box? Can we get that first contact in our box? We've got a stat from Elliot that the first contact's key in both boxes, whether that's keeping it alive in the attacking box and clearing it in the offensive box. So, yeah, for me, it's most definitely something that we need to ensure is continued with us being as proactive as possible and getting them individual performances to a level, and then as a team performance, yeah, nailing down all the responsibilities of the group.
And finally, Luke, the first of 3 games left against Weymouth. Is that word momentum still the driving force as we round off this crazily long campaign?
If we go and finish with 5 wins in our last 6 games, that's momentum. If we go and finish unbeaten in our last 6, in the last 3, and that looks like 3 wins, 2 draws and a loss, that's momentum. Considering where we were a month ago, 6 weeks ago, where we were sitting on only 2 losses in 14 games, but the amount of draws we've had has been, crippling. So I think if we was to remain unbeaten, 2 good wins in the last 3 and a draw, I'd be happy with that. I think that shows momentum. I think 4 wins, a draw and a loss in our last 6 shows slight improvement on form. And then, I'm looking forward to the boys going away, coming back, biting, having the bit between their teeth, because I need them chomping at the bit in terms of coming back in the building refreshed, because I'm tired. The club's tired. It's gone through a hell of a lot this year. Stuff away from the club with the chairman and Charlie that are dealing with keeping the club afloat. Keeping the club afloat, let alone anything. The 3 points on the pitch is massive. Don't get me wrong. It's huge for the club, the community, for myself, for the team, for the dressing room. But chairman's gone through quite a bit. So I think it's a year that he will never forget, nor will I. But we need to ensure that we start the new season, positive, because we want to get back to where we believe we can get to. And that's not being flashed. That's just an honest appraisal. I think that we've fallen short, quite a bit short of where we wanted to get to this year. And all the talking, the meetings will go on in the off season to ensure that that's not the case come next year.